there, my name is Shelby Anderson. I am an art teacher and I like to think that I'm an artist. I've been noticing a lot of people really like acrylic pours. I have done them in the past. They've turned out pretty well. So I wanted to show you guys my own kind of way to make them. Now, if you want any of these acrylic pours that I do have them on Etsy. So if you are interested in any of my acrylic pours, you can always get them at my Etsy shop, which is Shelby Anderson Studios. And I hope that you enjoyed this awesome little video. First thing is that acrylic pours do take a lot of paint. They do take a matter of cups and a lot of canvases. I like to use these flat ones. I think that they are really easy to use. I also like to use gloves, and I have an apron that kind of is my catch-all, all right? The thing is, these bottles, these are very old. I got them from my grandma after she died, so I don't really know how well they use, but I like to use them. And then I also like to use these because they add a little extra bit of kind of texture to them. But if you're not interested in that, you kind of want that more smooth kind of look, having bottles that are big like this, and you can get these on Amazon, you can get these at Michael's, any craft store, big ones like this, they are really smooth to use, and you can get a lot of paint going with that. Hopefully this is a good angle, but what I like to do is I like to go by color and kind of match it by color, adding any neutral colors like black or white always kind of help with any transitioning, but I like to go colors that are similar. I find that when you do too many colors, it can turn brown, which is what I see a lot of people who are trying this for the first time kind of deal with. So doing like colors like black, white, and then adding blues together, or adding any kind of colors that are in the same like cool colors or warm colors together makes it a lot easier. So I'm gonna kind of do this process a little by myself. After I get done with the bottle, I do throw them away, and I try to fill it up so that I have a pretty large cup. All right, so here are my finished cups. So it seems to me that my purple and my orange cup are gonna be for sure only like a couple paintings. But my green and my blue, I think I'll be able to do with a different technique. You can also see in the purple and the orange cup, it's going to be a lot more textured because of the type of paint that I have in there. Those are from the tubes, and the tubes will definitely have a lot less paint in them, and they'll also come out a little bit differently as far as acrylics go. They won't be as smooth if you get those big tubs or bottles, all right? All right, so this is where I usually do all of my acrylic pours. It's gonna be a lot easier if you have some tarp out. However, I like to do it in my backyard because I don't have to worry, all right? So the first kind of one I'm gonna do is putting it on the canvas first. So what you do is you kind of set the canvas underneath the cup and you flip it. I'm gonna use my purple cup this time since there's a lot less paint. You might have to squeeze it out, kind of tap it, and you'll start to see it kind of unflow a little bit. So I'm gonna lift it up now. There's gonna be a nice kind of little blob of it. It's kind of looking like Ursula right now, which I love. I'm gonna take a little bit of it out when I'm on one, and I'm gonna set my cup aside. So now I have this blob, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just kind of gonna let itself kind of slide. And since it's so textured, it's gonna take its time to just slide across. Now I like to make sure the middle is all good first before I go to my edges. And since it has that texture, it's kind of leaving it kind of streaky, which I like. You might hear my dog. Ooh, I like how that purple, that little pinky purple came out. So if you're afraid of getting your hands dirty, definitely wear some gloves during this part. I'm used to my hands getting full of stuff, so I am okay. So I'm gonna go all the way to the corner with this guy. And this is where I can start letting it kind of fill those corners. So I drop it kind of vertical now. Now I'm gonna swipe it down. And it's gonna take some time, okay? You can kind of tap it if you want it to go faster. Having those corners done really makes this kind of your full art piece. If you even want to be even faster, you can hit it on the ground itself. Just kind of just tap, tap, tap. Have it go. Oh, that's cool. Look at that. Now, so as you can see, I didn't have enough to kind of fill it. So one way that people do it to really just make it fun is they actually throw it. So let's see if I can throw it like a frisbee. How fun is that? Okay, let's see if I can get it. You can even throw it a couple times. Acrylic pours don't have to be perfect. In fact, they're fun when they're not. I'm gonna keep this one kind of vertical so I can get those rest of those bits. So I can now go on to my next one. So I'm gonna do the same thing with that orange cup. Tappy tappy. Making sure that I have some of that come down, kind of squish. Making sure, this I feel like it's gonna turn out like more fall, and I'm gonna like that. So I'm excited about that one. All right. Ooh yeah, look at that. Same thing, kind of that mound. All right, so I'm gonna pause this. You're gonna see the end result. Hey, so I did my orange painting, and because of how much texture I used, I actually wasn't able to get it to move around a lot. So you do have to find that kind of right portion of enough of that smooth paint to make it work, and enough of that texture to make it move. So I'm gonna show you actually how the purple and the orange are gonna work out. You're gonna notice that the orange is very smooth. The reason why is because I actually had to use my hand. I find that if your paint doesn't move, finger painting is super fun to do too. So here's my orange. I had to do that finger painting to make it that smooth, but my purple is really turning out to be a true acrylic pour. So I hope that you like that. I'm gonna start making now my blue and my green. So hold on a second while I do that. All right, so for the blue and green, we're gonna do a little bit of a different technique. It's more of a pouring technique than it is a just cup and dump, all right? That's how I call it, cup and dump. So how we're gonna do this is we're gonna set this on the ground, and I'll tilt you guys a little bit so you see this a little better. Let's see. There you go. So I'm gonna take my green first, and so I'm gonna move from one canvas to the other, kind of making these small circles in between. Now it's good to have like a kind of flat surface in order to do this. So I'll come over here and I'll start making that kind of swirl. You can kind of go back and forth with this swirl, really add a lot to it. And this way you can have a couple in a collection if you have two at a time. You'll see that some of it is turning one color a little bit more while the other one's a little bit more of that lighter color. I'm gonna come back, see if I can get a lighter color in here a little bit more so it's not just one. There we go. So this will be more of a collection-based one. And I'll kind of go back, add a little bit of that color into there too. Ooh, this is gonna be cool. All right, so same as before, we're gonna kind of tilt it, go one way or the other. So I think I'm gonna go tilt it this way first. Yeah, this one's gonna move. Yeah, look at that. Let's tilt it a little bit more this way now. Ooh, beautiful. I'm really liking how this one's turning out. This kind of reminds me of the Monster energy drinks. Those are kind of fun to see. Doing some tip taps. Kind of get them on the corners there. I'm gonna leave this one up to kind of slowly make its way down. Same thing over here. I think I'm gonna tilt it. I think I'm gonna tilt it this way first. And I'm gonna kind of do more of a rotation one, because all of these textures are super fun. They're kind of clumping. I'm a little worried and I'm gonna lose this little texture ball that I have here. It's kind of fun. But I have enough paint that I think I'll be able to survive without it. All right. Now, the key part to having an acrylic pour is having enough paint, but also not having too much. Acrylic paint can be expensive, can also not be that expensive. Depends on where you get it. Personally, if you're gonna do an acrylic pour, please buy the cheapest thing that you got. It's gonna look nicer, and also you're not gonna have to break the bank. So I'm gonna set this one aside too. I'm moving that other guy so it can kind of move to the side. I kind of like it. It's gonna turn out kind of slimy. I like it. So I got 2 more canvases so I can make my blue. So I'm gonna set them right here, just how I did the other one. And this one, it's gonna turn more blue-gray. I'm thinking like a nice cool sea kind of thing, like a dark deep sea. Doing that kind of twirl. If you watch, what's her name? Sophia Nygaard. She has a really cool video how she talks about her process of making this. And you know, the thing is, everybody, since you're a new beginner, it's gonna be a little hard and you might have a harder time at first, but it's all about learning. All right, so I have that cup there. All right, I really like this one so far. This is like a nice deep blue. So this one has most paint. I'm gonna see if any of the leftover paint I can get on to that previous canvas that I just used. All right, I call this kind of my wiggle, kind of wiggle it down a little bit. This one's definitely gonna be much more gray than that blue. Same here. So I'll save you the time, especially since we got cars here coming. I'll show you that finished product. All right, so we have finished them. If you don't wear gloves, this is how your hands are gonna turn out. Thankfully, acrylic paint with a little soap, easily gone, okay? So I'm just gonna show you how all of them turned out, my thoughts on them. These aren't my best acrylic pours, unfortunately. I'm a little bummed about that. I will say that it is a matter of having enough of that really true liquidy kind of acrylic and also that texture in order to get that cool kind of, you know, really big feeling. I usually go ahead and I leave these out to dry pretty much for a couple days because there's just so much paint. You can bring them inside if you have like a nice place to put them that's more plasticky. I keep them outside. It might be raining here soon, so I might have to bring it inside. Thankfully, I have an art studio that anything can really get dirty with. So I'll show you our finished product. More colorful one of the blue-gray. I'm really liking this one. I like the stripes. And you know, I'm not mad about the white that is kind of showing. And you'll see that even like the leftover paint is kind of cool to see. This one I'm a little upset about. It's not as pretty. I'm gonna turn it on its like vertical side over here in order to see if I can get more kind of color going down. The monster one is turning super cool. I really like the streaks in that. So I'm gonna turn that over to the vertical side as well. This one is awesome. I'm really liking how there's like the specks in that side. I always love it when specks show up. As you know, this one's not my favorite. Hey, you know, finger painting is a form of abstract art, so hey, why not, right? And even this Ursula one, this is beautiful. I'm really liking how this is turning out. So, if you have any questions about how these are, if you want to buy any of these will be on my Etsy site as soon as they are finished. And if you want to buy any of my other ones that turned out a lot better, you can go ahead and get those too. I hope you guys are having a good day, and I hope I see you soon. Bye.